Gill Archer from Wolverhampton has been feeling travel sick for 6 years. She's constantly felt like she's been rocking and swaying ever since her plane was hit by turbulence on a long-haul flight to Florida. And on bad days, she even struggles to walk in a straight line. The mum of 3 has since been described with Mal de Debarquement Syndrome, which is an incurable motion disorder. Jill is with us now. Jill, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
Jill, just tell us about, this incredible condition, how it first arrived for you then.
It was after I got off the flight. It was...
Where'd you been going?
Florida, a holiday of a lifetime to Florida. Been looking forward to it so much. Only been on short flights before that, so it was a bit nerve-wracking as well, going for such a long flight. But afterwards I got off and I didn't feel right. I felt the rocking and the bobbing, and it feels like, although I've never been on a cruise, it's like you're in a boat and you've got this rocking and bobbing sensation all the time.
And where were you? Was this at the Florida end, after you flew to Florida?
After I flew to Florida, yeah.
Really? So you arrived in Florida, turning up for this dream holiday.
Yes, absolutely.
And presumably you just thought, oh, well, just a bit of an after effect.
Yeah, I never thought a plane could cause it. I didn't even connect that to it. I've actually had episodes, and that was quite short-lived, that episode, but I have had other episodes which haven't been travel-related. They've been spontaneous. Sometimes it can just be, anxiety. Illness can bring it on. There's a lot of us who haven't been, a lot have been on cruises, but a lot also haven't.
Who've got your particular condition,
yeah. Absolutely.
So just when you talk about these episodes then, just try and, thankfully, most of us will never have had to experience what you have, and I know you wouldn't wish that on anybody, but just so we can understand what it feels like for you.
It's like I say, it's 24/7 of a rocking, bobbing sensation, swaying. The intensity can change. It can be really bad one day and it can be fine the next. On good days, I am able to more or less function, although I do suffer with a lot of fatigue as well. On bad days, I could be bedridden, I can hardly walk, I'm having to hold on to walls. It really is that bad. Then we also have, I get like a heaviness in my head. We call it a gravitational pull. It's almost like your head is being pulled. Some people have it in their legs and the rest of the body as well. I also get what we call a head bobble because my head gets so heavy. Sometimes it's actually like dropping because it just feels so heavy in there. I've since now got neck-related issues, and I'm presuming it's because of all this and my balance being off. Sometimes I have memory problems as well. When I'm talking, sometimes I can't find a word I'm looking for. When I'm writing, sometimes I'll write something in the wrong order or write the wrong word entirely. And it's absolutely draining. I just feel like the whole thing, I feel like I've aged considerably because, my life has changed so much. My social life is not brilliant because, there's a lot of things that set me off. Even going shopping, the supermarket, because I have a lot of visual problems as well. The supermarket sets me off, loud crowds set me off.
And until you went on this flight to Florida, you were in good health and you've never
absolutely.
had anything like this at all?
No, nothing at all.
So there you are in Florida, feeling a little bit peaky, thinking, this doesn't feel great, but it's probably just a flight, I'll get over it. Take me through the process whereby, from feeling a bit iffy and, writing it off as a one-off, you actually come to be diagnosed with this really rare condition?
It was a very long journey. I had that episode in 2006. Luckily, that didn't last too long. My father passed away in May 2007. Shortly after that, I got it back again. That episode lasted about 4 months. I did go to the doctor and they just give me medication that treats just general vertigo. It did nothing. I tried several. Some of them even made me worse. I went to see a neurologist. He did an MRI just to make sure there was nothing else untoward. That was fine and was just told it's innocent vertigo. And the impression that I got from him was like, go away, get on with it. But anyway, that episode finished and that was that. And then it was 2009, it came back again. That time it lasted for 6 months. And each episode, the symptoms are getting worse as well. So I went back to the doctors and I said, refer me to ENT. I'm not accepting that this is something I've just got to accept and nobody can do anything for me. So I did go to the local ENT at our hospital, had various balance tests. They couldn't come up with nothing, but I do also suffer with migraines sometimes, so they were thinking maybe it was that. I was started on some medication, tried several lots. It's like antidepressants, the sort of medication they put you on. Didn't work for me. And then I found out on the MdDS site that, because they've got a list of doctors that can help in different countries in the world, and there is Leicester Balance Centre who have diagnosed. So I went.
And MdDS is the shorthand form of the condition.
MdDS, yeah. I went to my doctor and I asked about being referred there, but I was told no, because it's now out of our area. And I said, what is this to do with funding? And well, basically, yes. So over the time, I've had to become really assertive with this, and I just said, right, if you're not going to do it, I want to see the practice manager, because
your local GP, Wolverhampton.
Yeah, you haven't found anybody that can help me.
Yeah.
So somehow I'm going to get some help. If you can't do it, I want to see the practice manager. At that, come on, we'll do the referral. So off I go to Leicester, have some more tests, and then got my diagnosis.
Now, as I say, we're chatting to Gill Archer from Wolverhampton. Gill has been feeling sort of travel sick, really, for 6 years, and we just got to the point in her story where she had been officially diagnosed with MdDS, Mal de Debarquement Syndrome, which was something that kicked off after she flew off to Florida on what she hoped would be a dream holiday, and as the cliche would have it, the dream turned out to be a little bit of a nightmare. So, had you ever heard of MdDS before?
No, I'd never heard of it. I had been on the computer and I was looking at different conditions, trying to, relate to what I was feeling. Hadn't been able to find anything, but I did go on a site, and all of a sudden somebody mentioned something called MdDS, and I thought, oh, I've never heard of that one before. I'll have a look. And I read up what she'd put about it, and she'd put a link to the website in America, so I went on it, and it was just like a eureka moment. All of a sudden, yes, this is me. But that was where the battle began.
How was it explained to you? Did anybody tell you, A, what causes it, and B, what likelihood there is of you ever being cured of it?
I mean, I found out after reading a bit more into it. I mean, I do have migraine, and people with migraine have perhaps got a more susceptibility to getting it, but it's just one of those things. Other than that, if you're an anxious person, that's another thing that can, cause a problem. Other than that, really, no, I don't know why it happens.
But it's a physical disorder, is there? There's something going on in the brain somewhere?
It's the brain. I mean, there is a doctor in America at the moment, Dr. Cha, who's done some research, and they found something to do with hyperactivity in the brain. But, this is still ongoing, and like with the foundation, it is non-profit, so it's all just done by donations. So
I've got a quote here from Dr. Cha, actually. He works for the University College Los Angeles. The Department of Neurology, and you've actually been to see him.
Well, I contacted her. It's a she.
Oh,
I contacted her via email. She was very, very helpful in me, getting somewhere with the doctor. She gave me a lot of information.
Can you have any medication for it? Anything?
There are, like I said to you, there are antidepressants for me.
But you said that didn't work for you.
That didn't work for me. The next step is benzodiazepines, and I've only just in the last week been prescribed these. My GP.
What are they? Some kind of tranquilizer type things?
Yeah. GPs don't want to know. They won't prescribe it. I've had to go to a neuro just this week, and he did prescribe them, and in the last few days my symptoms have decreased, and it's took me, such a long time, although, I've said that these could help me. Oh, we can't prescribe them. You have to be under mental health or something like that to get those sort of medications.
And do some people think, because Dr. Cha says, there is still the perception, Dr. Cha obviously, is probably the foremost world expert on this, but says there's still the perception that the disorder is self-limiting, that I suppose a bit like other conditions like ME, it's something which other people haven't heard about. They can't see it.
No, you can't.
So they think, she's making it up. Yeah. And do you get that?
Yeah, absolutely. People, they can't see it. And I've tried to explain to people. Sometimes you get fed up of trying to explain it, but you want to try and raise awareness. You want people to know more about it and perhaps have an understanding. But I have had somebody at work before said, she's just drunk, she drinks too much, you know, I don't touch alcohol, you know, but people say silly things like that because they've got no understanding, and I do harp on about it quite a lot just to try and get people to understand.
And you still manage to hold down a job with this condition?
Yeah, I am off sick at the moment.
What do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a staff nurse at our local hospital, which is very hard. It's an acute ward, it's very demanding, it is very difficult for me. And before long, I think I'm going to have to think about either reducing or finding an area that's less acute, because as time goes on, this is just telling more and more on me and making my life so much worse. And
although it's always with you then, there are clearly days, if you're holding down a job at a hospital, where you can cope, you can sort of bash on through and deal with it. And
I can. A lot of the time at work, I do feel bad, but I do try not to show it, and I do try and push myself as much as possible, because there has been times when I've been really bad and I've almost felt like a recluse in my own home. I don't want to go out. I'm scared to go out. The one thing that makes you feel better is being in motion again. So like when I'm in a car, I feel absolutely fine. I have no symptoms, but as soon as that stops, it's back, and a lot of times it's back a lot worse. So although I do feel better in the car, sometimes I don't even want to do that because I know it's going to come back a lot worse afterwards.
So you get temporary relief, but then the kickback is stronger than it was.
Yeah.
And have you been on a plane since? I presume you came back to the West Midlands,
I
obviously, from Florida on a plane.
A couple of years ago, we went to Gran Canaria, which was just a shorter flight, and I was okay with that, to be honest. This episode has lasted now over 2 years, and it's really been quite bad. And at the moment, in these last 2 years, I haven't been anywhere because I do have the fear. How much worse can it get?
And really, I suppose the value of being on the show today is to just make people aware of this condition.
Absolutely.
Do you know how common it is? How many people suffer it around the world?
I really don't know. I mean, they call it rare. I don't know if there are a lot more people out there that just don't know about it. And, you know, the fights I've had with doctors, maybe they're getting the same and they're accepting what their doctors say. You know, all I can say to people, if you're not getting the answers, then, you know, keep pushing, keep looking, you know, look for answers. You know, maybe you might have this, I don't know, but, you know, you have to push for an answer. Don't just accept there's nothing I can do, get on with it, it's not good enough. No,
well listen, it's really good to see you, and thank you for at least helping to make people aware of the condition, which I know is a very difficult one for you, Gill, as we've heard, but thank you, I really appreciate it.
Can I just give the website address out for people? We have got an MdDS in the UK, which is run by a lovely lady called Jane. The web address for that is www.mdds.org.uk. And there also is a site in America. There's a wealth of information there, and that's www.mddsfoundation.org.
Good luck to you, Gill.
Lovely.
Really
Thanks
appreciate you coming in. And,
no problem.
And
Thank you very much.
It's Gill Archer from Wolverhampton, suffering this incredible condition. Imagine having travel sickness every day of your life. That's exactly what Gill is going through. Really appreciate you sharing your story with us.